Now, we've talked about a bar raiser a number of times. Not every company will have a bar raiser, but if they do have a bar raiser, what's their purpose in this debrief?
Exactly. So at Amazon, I was trained as a bar raiser, and a bar raiser at the time I was there was less than 0.5% of employees were trained as bar raiser. But every single interview at any level had to have a bar raiser in the interview loop as a external independent observer. They often voted and interviewed candidates, but their point was, how do we facilitate a good hiring decision and make sure we don't do a desperation hire? So you're hiring
Right.
someone as a sales leader and you really, really want someone who's worked somewhere in AI, and you've got this candidate who's worked in AI. If you needed to put them in any other part of your sales organization that didn't require the AI skill, would you still hire them? It's this
Hmm.
kind of independence of, make sure you don't make a desperation hire. Because what if, as an organization, we reorganize and pivot in a month? Would we be happy to have this candidate in another organizational design, or would we regret it?
Yeah. And I've been a bar raiser myself, not at Amazon, obviously, but I've been a bar raiser. And there are times when you have a completely impartial view on the candidate. And you see that some of the people in the loop are so infatuated with the fact that this candidate did something really, really well, and they become blind to the general profile of the candidate. And I've been in rooms where everyone's going strong, yes. And you say, but what about this? And then everyone wakes up and says, oh, yeah, you're right. And then the decision's very different.
Exactly. And that's where the tool, my download, that helps here is, we've got a number of criteria. And whatever criteria you have, you should fill in this template. But it allows you to just decompose a little bit. Like, what are the things I really admire about this candidate to score
Yes.
high on? And what are the things that I'm concerned about? And what's my relative weight between them? And it
Yeah.
allows you to just have more of an informed point of view to then make a final vote. Um, and then ultimately, the bar raiser, one of the last tasks the bar raiser has is, how am I also developing the rest of the people in this interview loop? You may have somebody who's new to interviewing and
Yes.
you want to help coach people. And sometimes I'll have people who say, like, oh, we should never hire this person because I asked them this question about how to solve this problem internally that I haven't fixed in 5 years, and they couldn't do it in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And part of my role as a facilitator is like, okay, is that really a fair challenge? Let's see if we can peel that back, and how well do they think they have the skill set?
Yeah.
The facilitator challenges some of the positions in an open way of the team.
So you mentioned your download. We mentioned it in part one as well. It's a template that allows you to track the whole process from beginning to end. Today we're going to focus on the debrief. Now, one of the core parts, one of the core functions of this template is to initially record the votes, and they are blind votes. And each interviewer commits themselves to a vote ahead of the debrief and before they've got any intel from anybody else.